Midwest SBL, louder than ever, bringing you the fire. It's DJ Rusticles.
That was the wrong song. Oh well. Just stop. You can take your picture. All right, there we go. Boom. Yeah. All right. So in this room, we got Second Skin. It's not Second Skin Audio anymore, right? It's Second Skin Automotive. What was it? Installation.
Auto and home.
Now it's home. We're going to talk about that too. I definitely wanted to get into that. But we got the Second Skin guys in today. We've been talking about doing this episode for quite a while now. Sturgeon, who's now the owner of Second Skin. Sturgeon Christie.
Yep, that's right.
We got Brett Hines over there, who's their new hire here in the Charlotte area. Eric Zook. And then you guys know Donnie over there.
Yeah. I'm like the emotional support animal.
Yeah.
But for like
totally.
Someone who has like a peanut allergy or something.
Now,
Now
Jake Jake couldn't make it, but he's here in spirit with his liquor today. He brought his H.J. Smith. It's actually going to be this camera right here. That's the one you want. He brought his H.J. Smith. Which one is that? Salted caramel, I think?
Yep.
Yeah,
Salted
that's my
caramel.
first time trying it. That is a production bottle, so it's pretty sexy. He'll be rolling that out here at some point or another. But Second Skin, finally here. We were talking about probably a couple years ago when we first got into this new building how you were going to come, but then COVID happened and didn't happen. And you had a baby, I think, in between that time period, didn't you?
Yeah, we're 9 months in, so
Goodness.
It's the first time really getting out.
Bring the
in a
mic
while.
down just a little bit. No, I'm talking to you.
Me?
Yeah, right there. There you go.
All right.
All right. So you had a baby. You own a company. What else you got going on there?
That's about it. Keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Golf. Lots of golf.
I wish, yes.
Yeah, I think we were talking last time you and I spoke about you coming over. You were hesitant to do it because of the new baby coming out and COVID happening, and you didn't want to get any sickness in the household and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, especially when my wife was pregnant, there was just
Yeah.
a lot of, I think at the time there was a lot of uncertainty and people just didn't know. And so the decision was be as careful as possible.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of where we landed for a little while.
I'm not most careful, and I wore masks like I was supposed to, but when I usually didn't, as best as I'm not big on it. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, and I got it.
I think that
just like a lot of us got it.
Yep.
I think if you saw the recent airline reactions when no more masks required and people throwing them up in the air all excited.
Oh yeah.
that's
That just
general.
happened like
Yeah,
today or
yeah.
yesterday, right?
Tuesday, man. They were throwing them up in the airport like, yeah, it's gone.
So let's go around the room and just introduce ourselves. So you're Sturgeon. You are the owner of Second Skin Audio, and we got Brett over here to your left. And Brett, what do you do?
I'm the SEO manager.
Oh, hold on a minute. Your mic's not on. There we go. Give it a shot.
Got me now?
Yeah, we go.
Nice,
Alright.
nice.
Go ahead.
I am the SEO manager at Second Skin, so a lot of just helping out with
Website stuff.
yeah, a lot of website stuff. Also help, answering phone calls, and on the operational side, I just kind of try to help out anywhere I can, anything I can really do.
Do you like tech support? Like they want to know how you roll it on the right way.
they ask me, and I answer pretty much.
How
any
hot can I
question.
make this before it gets bad? You know?
I've been here 10 months now, and I've heard, I feel like, almost any question.
Yes,
Some good ones and some bad
and
ones.
every month it'll be a new question that'll boggle your mind.
You
We get
should
it all the
save-
time here.
You should save the video of me cutting my hand as like a do not do this.
Yeah.
If
Don't
you-
do it like this guy.
If you guys remember, we use Second Skin Damplifier Pro in Donnie's trunk. So if you go back, you can go back on our playlist and see Donnie's build on there. We did the whole trunk basically. Yeah, it worked. You had to send me more product actually.
Yes, you guys did a very in-depth application, and we definitely got you hooked up again.
Yeah, we need to do the doors next.
Hey,
Yeah.
I know a guy.
We got you.
Cool.
Yeah, we actually probably will be doing his doors sometime soon if he doesn't plan on getting rid of that car anytime soon. I don't know.
Hell no.
I had one kid I sponsored one time, and he sold the car like 3 months later. I'm like, what is
Don't you
wrong
hate
with
it?
you?
We've
Give me my money back.
That's happened. That happens. It's like, come on, we spent some time with you here.
yeah, come on, man. We bonded.
Yeah. We've dealt with that before. And then we've got Eric over here. Now, Eric, you've been with the company longer than these guys have.
Yeah,
Much longer.
Yeah, two weeks. It'll be
Get that mic closer to your face.
2 weeks. It'll be year 8, I believe.
wow.
May of 2014. I started.
Are you sure? And here's the reason why I ask. If you're sure. This is now. Listen. I started working for Sundown 2013, April 2013. It's been 9 years, right? Before I worked at Sundown, I did a thing on Facebook where I had to share a Second Skin post, and you may or may not, you may win a thing, right? This was back then it was called Alpha Damp.
Yep.
All right. You messaged me because I won. You're the person that messaged me. This was like 2011, 2012.
Oh no, it wasn't me.
Are you sure?
13, 14 is somewhere in there for sure. Yes.
I'm gonna look at our messages.
You're gonna have to. It wasn't me.
I have
don't
a
think
feeling you were the person. Because who was there before you?
so. Ken Canfield owned the company when I first started, and then his son, and then a couple other people worked there. So it would have been like Max would have been our guy's name.
Eric Zook, right?
Eric Zook is me.
Eric Zook. So that's like a 007. It's somebody just becomes Eric Zook. That's not your name. You just take the
Watch.
place of Eric Zook.
Yep.
I'm gonna look this up. We don't
You'll blow my mind if it was that long ago.
There's a history. So.
watch. Because I think I actually looked for this.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I got Alzheimer's. I don't know.
Oh, never mind. I'm wrong.
Yep. It's Max, wasn't it? No?
I don't know.
Or Ken, one of
Well,
the
no,
two.
I just looked at our messages.
Oh, yes. I think 2013 or 14. Somewhere
But yeah,
somewhere in there.
I got turned on to your guys' product 2011. I think, is when I won that stuff. Well, I mean, I knew about the product, I just never used it.
Didn't Jake use it on one of his
Yeah,
builds?
yeah. A lot of the
Absolutely.
guys here used your product.
Actually, didn't he use it on the Firebird?
Yes.
Yep.
Actually, last time I was here, we saw some old SUV.
Yep,
That
it
had
was the old
like,
Jeep.
from
It's still here.
15 years ago. Or something. Yeah.
It's still here. That Jeep will never die. It just we bring it out once a year, see what it does, and put
Just
it back.
Yeah.
Yep, and it has a ton of old second skin stuff on it. That's the product that a lot of us Sundown guys used before. Well, we still use it a lot, but we now use like we have our own like really thick stuff we use, or what is that called? What do they call that? I don't remember. We have some stuff that we use, but in general, if we're doing an install in a car, it's going to be second skin products.
That's because everybody uses second skin.
We do hear that pretty often. Where,
Absolutely.
Even someone may have their own deadener, but then in their own personal car, they'll use second skin. So
Yeah.
that's not
Now we
unheard of.
just came out with recently some of our own deadener. It's just standard run-of-the-mill stuff because our dealers wanted some to go along with the products because a lot of people like to use the same name stuff.
Yep.
We sell a decent amount of it. But we don't really push that hard. It was something to give our dealers that were part of the system.
An add-on.
We always, in general, recommend you guys though.
Nice. Thank
So
you. I
for
appreciate
people,
that.
especially people doing extensive builds.
Yeah.
Especially sound quality.
Lifelong builds. You need
Yep.
you need the good stuff.
Now, real quick, I need to tell Soulgasm, thank you very much for the $19.99 super chats.
Thank you, Soulgasm.
If you got a question for these guys, make sure you post it up on here.
And then somebody read it to me because I can't see that far away.
Yeah,
You want
come
to sit here?
No, I'm just
Come on in,
messing with
Jerry.
on in,
you. Hey,
Jerry.
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 Yeah, they can
Come on
see
in.
you. They can see you. And Jerry, it's been 3 years since the first time you came on our show. When you remember, you weren't even working for
Jerry was a guest.
You weren't even working for us back then.
That sounds like a real thing that happened.
Do you want a cigar?
I don't know. He tried to make me be here 3 years longer than I was. I don't know. I don't trust his
I
numbers.
really
can't
thought it was
can't
you.
trust his numbers.
Really thought it was you, man.
No, I remember when Jerry was on the show because that's when you dropped off those subs that needed to be
Those
recount.
NEP Wolford.
The NEP ones. I wasn't sure if I should say it, but yeah. I
That's
don't.
all right.
I don't know, man.
No, we talked about it back then.
Yeah, we did.
That's all right. So let's get back to the roots of Second Skin, the beginnings. I like to talk about the beginnings of things and how they started. Now I know Sturgeon, you're not the original owner of the company,
Yeah, that's right.
so maybe we'll get Eric in on this. Eric, you started. You said it was 8 years ago,
Yeah, at least 8, maybe 9, somewhere
right.
in there.
and the company's been through 3 owners. You said.
Yep, 3 owners.
What do you know from the beginning of how things started back then?
So I'm still friends with Anthony to this day. Anthony, Kalova.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about that. He, he started this stuff back in, I believe, 2000 was the year, somewhere in there.
Wasn't he a bodybuilder?
Afterwards, he was a bodybuilder.
yeah.
Well, I'll get to
I
that
remember,
at
yep.
the end of it.
He's had a couple companies. He's
Yeah,
a
he's
serial entrepreneur,
there you
very
go.
successful.
Yeah.
Very serial entrepreneur for sure. So back in the day, he was in the car audio with you gentlemen, and he basically wanted to find out why Dynamat worked. And basically, he got tired of paying Dynamat's prices.
Gotcha.
He said, "Why does this crap work? What's going on?" And he got himself a chemist and a couple other guys to test the stuff and kind of reverse engineer what's going on, and found out the key elements to why it would work and how to kind of make it better. And then for his first 10 years,
Just reverse engineered it, basically.
yeah, basically, and then
And then made it his own.
and made his own, has his own secret recipe, went through a couple different ones. And then basically, he, from what I've understood, he was the guy that would show up at the shows and be like, "You get a pack, you get a pack, and you get a pack," and that's kind of how he jumped into
Right.
the system. And
Okay. That's kind of how you have to do it from time to time.
So he just busted through, giving it away stuff, and then he just continued. He started off at his dad's warehouse.
Around what year was this?
2000, 99, 2000.
Oh, that was
somewhere
when
there.
that's when car audio was starting to crash.
Yes,
during that time
exactly. But he was the first. I believe he was the first one on the internet. Like he owned DIYA or whatever it's called, DIMA.
Yeah, yeah,
Do yourself
yeah.
mobile audio or whatever.
Yep.
He ran that or whatever. And he just got into it for 10 years. At the end, he sold it, and then that's when he started his muscle business. He went on his muscle tour, and then said, I don't want to buy this stuff, and started making oatmeals and peanut butters and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
I like
then,
peanut butter.
yeah, and then that's when Ken Canfield and his family bought the company, and they're in Tucson, Arizona. They moved it from, I think for like 10, 11 years, it was in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Phoenix for one more year. They moved it to Tucson. Still ran it as a family business and everything. Ken and his wife and his child and a couple other people. And then in 2014 or 13, somewhere in there, basically, I just needed a side job. You know, the kids were getting older, stuff was getting more expensive, and I was a security guard in my day job, but at night or in the afternoons, I needed a gig, so I got a
You're built for that.
Yes,
definitely.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Army security, that's me.
Yeah.
And so I started boxing up there. I was just boxing stuff. I was the part-time box dude. Came in there like 3 or 4 hours a day and just box stuff up and ship stuff out.
Were you a car audio guy kind of previous
back
to that,
back in the 90s when I was a kid? Yeah, you know, I had Lanzar Pros and I had a Phoenix Gold
Lanzars too,
Phoenix
yeah.
Gold amp. I was hitting about 134 decibels. I thought I was big timing back
Hell
then,
yeah,
you know. And I had the glass bandpass box, so I was a little bit back then. But then I went off to the Army and wasn't really in it. But then I was just boxing up in there, and then you know they started talking and found out I worked for Google for a while.
This was Arizona?
Arizona, Tucson. Found out I worked for Google for a while, and brought me in. And that's when I started like the social medias and all that stuff, the YouTubes, and started getting videos on there. And then from there, you know, the company was, you know, kind of doing its thing, and you know, we developed the new black foil instead of the silver,
Yep.
and then we put the ghosted logo on there because we don't.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that tacky big logo up in people's faces. That was kind of our thing to do that for. And then in 2019, they decided they wanted to retire. You know, they were getting older.
Yep.
And they actually are retired into what country?
Portugal.
Portugal. Yeah, they went to Portugal. And
All right.
And that's
Are they
what's-
Portuguese folks?
They are not.
No.
They are not. They
Very
just
American.
They're
Yes, very
expats
American.
in Portugal.
Yes, they just wanted to somewhere with good health care and I think cheaper living. Basically, is what they went
All
to.
right. Hey.
So they live there now. And
Jake, you know, if Jake was here, he'd be talking about
Ecuador.
Ecuador. He's like,
Ecuador.
yep, I'm moving to Ecuador.
Is that his retirement spot?
Yeah, that's his spot. Yeah.
And then 2019 is January of 19, right? Is when
Yeah.
I met Sturgeon as the new owner, and he came in and we revamped it all, and he had the great idea to move the warehouse to Illinois so that we could kind of compete with Amazon and ship to anywhere in
Okay.
2 to 3 days. You know what I mean? California in the bottom of Florida is 4 or 5 days sometimes,
Yeah.
but everywhere else 2 or 3 days.
Illinois is kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it's
country.
middle. And at first I'm like, why are you doing that? That sounds crazy. And it's worked out. It's been a great 3 years.
So you were in Arizona the whole time it was in Illinois?
Yes, when we moved to the warehouse to Illinois, I've lived in Arizona and ran the operations part from my house.
Okay, so you're working remotely, basically.
Yep, I work remotely in Florida
so
too now.
So there's no warehouse in Arizona.
Not anymore. Nope.
All right,
Well,
so now,
we've got about
We got
a
distributors.
partial warehouse
Yeah.
where we have some stuff that people, especially like local people. There are a bunch of people in Tucson that still want the product.
Yeah.
and I
So
assume
we
you
have
sell
stuff
to
there.
just big distributors.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And the guy that moved into our old warehouse actually got so much foot traffic. When we moved, I said, "Hey, you should just keep our products and sell them here." And he's like, "I don't want nothing to do with that."
Yeah.
3 months later, 4 months later, it's like, "Oh, like 5 people a day come walking up in here. How do I sell that stuff again?" so then I went out there and taught him how to sell second skin basically, and he became our biggest distributor in Arizona. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he lucked into that position though.
Yeah, it's like a side business for him,
Yeah,
basically.
it's not
Still,
even-
to this day.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he still
That's
does
awesome.
From our foot traffic for 9 years of foot
So
traffic.
main office is in Illinois?
it. No, Charlotte's the main office.
Charlotte's
And
main
so-
office now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess
Warehouse is in Illinois.
Yeah, warehouse is in Illinois. We're considering moving the warehouse to Charlotte, but at the moment, it's in Illinois. And by the way, it's more just that we're growing a lot, and so we need more space.
Yeah.
And then having things in multiple places, having stuff on hand where it's close to touch.
It's good to have
so-
multiple warehouses.
Yeah.
But having the distributor side of things makes it easier for a lot of people too, a lot of dealers in general.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how you guys run your dealer distributor thing. Like, I don't know if it's anything like what we do, but you know, a lot of dealers we make go through distributors now, especially if they're like a lower end side of things.
Well, that's a good idea.
Like we have a certain dollar amount they have to do per quarter, stuff like that, and if they don't reach it, then they can still go through a distributor, but there may be. I'm not going to go through our whole dealer
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
but we can talk about that off camera.
Yeah, I like those ideas.
Yeah,
You gave me some ideas.
We just started implementing more things, more rules for dealers lately, because we've grown so much. It's hard to keep control of certain things.
Yes.
And yeah, if you guys are
Yeah, I
interested,
think
in how
real
we
early
do it.
on, it was just like a free for all.
Yes, we've always been a dealer-based company, but things got crazy.
Yes.
So
Look.
everybody goes through their growing
The
pains.
the bigger there's always
Get that
just,
mic closer if you
there's
can.
always just more problems.
There
I
you
mean, the bigger you are, the more problems you have, and you don't even expect them until they start happening, and you're just putting out fires. I mean, there's always something that you're dealing with.
Right. It's hard to police the community in general. So we know all about that. So we've got an Illinois warehouse. You're looking into doing something in Charlotte possibly because that's where you're located.
Yep. I'm located in Charlotte. Brett's in Charlotte. We got.
And you moved to Florida.
Satellite Beach,
So
Florida.
you're not in Arizona anymore. All right. So we're coming up this. Now let's get to the point where Sturgeon gets involved.
Yep. 2019 January.
All right.
He takes over the best sound editing company in the world
Because the other folks moved to Portugal.
because the old people moved to Portugal.
Yeah. How did you get involved? Because I don't believe you were even part of car audio or deadening or anything. How'd you get involved? I'm really curious.
So I was not. So Second Skin was the end of a long road where I was looking to purchase a business. There's a lot that goes into that, and there's we use what's called an SBA loan. I won't bore anyone with all the things that go into like how you can do this. If you are interested, hit me up. I'll tell you how to do it. But there's and I was looking for a company that had established brand, established customers, great products. There were certain things that were kind of non-negotiable. And my background is much more in websites, digital marketing, and selling things online.
Yep.
And so Second Skin was had a lot of those kind of that established thing that I was looking for, a base to build off of. And then now it's like, okay, well, what can we do to market this online better?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really kind of the value that I thought I would bring to the business, and why I decided to go ahead and buy it.
How do you feel you're doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're about 3x the size of when I purchased it. So
Well, there you go.
We are
three times in what?
We're doing
3
really
years?
good.
Yeah,
it's
fantastic.
Again, it's hard when you're kind of in the day to day sometimes to remember or to like step back and think about like where were you and kind of where are you now. But because again, there's always something that you're dealing with, and it's easy to kind of get focused on that stuff. But yeah, when you step back and say, hey, like, how are we doing versus where we were? Yeah, we've been very fortunate.
Awesome. Now, I know you guys brought some products here, and we'll take a look at that here shortly. Let's get in, before we get into those, though, I've heard a little rumor recently about you guys getting involved in home insulation. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we've always been in home, not really home, but office and like recording studios and stuff like that. We did that recording studio for West Coast Customs that Demi Lovato and The Weeknd and people like that use. And basically, he brought it. He's like, why don't we just step fully into it?
So they have a whole ass studio there.
They've
at West
got an
Coast?
entire recording studio there.
That place must
Very
be
nice.
huge over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, TV definitely
Full
did
of
something
second
for them.
skin.
Yeah. Have a TV show.
Yeah.
And then see how it goes.
They have more than one place too. I remember they did a place in Germany, I think.
Yep,
They had a shop
absolutely.
out there.
They got one in Dubai as well.
Jeez.
Yes.
Well, good for them.
But we'd also done like roller coasters and gun ranges and just odd stuff like that. So
Yeah.
when he brought up the idea, it's like, at first I was a little hesitant, but then, we got into it. It's just been pretty cool,
So are you doing like wall panels and shit like that, or?
We do some, that's all that stuff is stuff we're growing into and we're learning.
Gotcha.
And so we've got some products we developed, some
Sorry.
and
420 was yesterday. Okay.
but just the kind of the short version is that we had a lot of the products that you needed to do the things, and there were things that were already in house. We developed, we had it on the shelves and ready to go. And then it was just adding to that so that, when people called in for certain things, we were able to say, hey, we actually do have something that we can ship out to you versus, I don't know, like go get that from somebody else.
It's all made in the USA.
Yes, that's actually one of the cool things about it's really
not easy to do.
Our category in general. There are other places that make foams, that make sound deadening mats, that make vinyl, some of these things, but there's a strong U.S. manufacturing base still for these products.
Being here in North Carolina, a big textile mecca of the world at one point, you may be able to get some cool stuff out here.
There are a couple big foam makers in North Carolina too.
Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Big foam makers. HSM, I think, is the name of that company.
Yeah, it's really it's one of those industries that has not exited the U.S. and I think there's a variety of reasons for that, but we're fortunate because for us and for me, that was actually one of the things that attracted me to the business is how it was made in the USA and it kind of had this strong history there, and I think a lot of our customers that resonates with too. And so not everything makes
definitely
sense to make in the USA, but a lot of our products still really do.
We would love to make everything in the
that the old
USA,
owner right there?
but it just can't happen.
Right.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
What you got going on over there?
I'm on your guys' site. I'm just kind of cruising.
Yeah, that's Mark from Graveyard Cars. Yeah, we're
Oh,
featured on there as well.
I love Mark. I
He
met
has,
him when we went out to Oregon.
I don't want
time.
to play
He's
the
goofy
video,
and fun.
but
Really
he
cool
has,
dude.
there's a Shining poster,
Yes.
and he's wearing an Overlook.
So my father
shirt.
restores classic cars for a living. He runs a shop, and that guy's a big Mopar dude. And my dad is
The biggest
also,
Mopar guy.
Yeah. So like, I love watching his stuff. It reminds me of watching my dad. You know.
He's got some real personality.
Yes, he does.
That's just like he's and he lets it all out. He
Yeah,
doesn't,
so Jake and I went to the Surf City show in Oregon a few years ago. Well,
I wanna go to that
We
one. That
try to
was a
go
fun
every
one.
year, but I think the first time we went, which is like 2017, 18, he was there the first day.
Really?
And, yeah, him and a bunch of his cars. And that was like the big attraction for the Saturday show was that guy was there because that was when his show was really kicking off
Yeah.
back then. So we got to meet him. That was cool. And then the big car audio portion of it was a Sunday.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event. If you haven't been,
Yeah, I wanna go for
you
sure.
must go.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful.
you were
So we're talking about the Surf City Sound Off,
yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
our show is
Yeah,
the
we
week.
sponsored that for about 5 years now.
well, you were supposed to go right
Yeah,
before
the COVID. Yeah.
Our show was the year. Our show is a week previous to that. So, and then their show a week after. So when it's your show, it's very hectic. You know, it's very hot. It's in the middle of a track. It's our show I'm talking about. It's very hot, middle of the track, it's like the hottest week of the summer. And then you go a week later to Oregon, and it's like 70 degrees and breezy and dry and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a vacation. Even though it's a show and we have to work it, it's still enjoyable.
Nice.
So definitely go to that if you haven't been there.
Absolutely.
All right, we're back to the home stuff. That's
Yep.
what we're trying to talk about.
Sure.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Don't mind
So-
you. You're the
I'm the host. It don't matter.
That
Whatever Brian says, don't matter.
that really has been a learning curve for us, and has been a good thing. I think
Get you
just
some more.
pushing
Brett. Yeah.
pushing our knowledge of kind of like how sound works and stuff. We were very familiar because of all of the stuff we've done in automotive, but then learning and kind of getting into room acoustics much more deeply, soundproofing a room much more deeply. I think it's really pushed us to kind of understand even our own things that we've been doing forever even better. So
How are
that's-
you guys doing your R&D, or as much as you can talk about R&D wise? What's your process?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing, and part of the reason I want to move a little bit more of what we're doing to Charlotte is I don't think that we're doing enough of that today. And I think that the last we released one product 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, Firewall, which was like a redo of our ceramic insulation product.
Okay.
That is just basically we took something that had been there, redid the formula for it, and kind of create a little bit higher performing version of something that we used to sell and kind of brought it back.
Gotcha.
And so we really haven't, besides that, have not spent as much effort on kind of finding new things and developing new
Which I'm sure the
solutions.
product, before you came on board, I'm sure the
Was
product
very
that
well.
was
yeah.
very good.
The first 10,
Like-
15 years, it was very well
It was like
researched.
it's like us
R&D.
with our SA12, what we call the classic now. It took forever. It took 9 years to create a new woofer that would surpass it in its same price level,
Yeah.
which is now the version 2. But it took forever for Jake to be like, well, I guess I can make it better. And it's more expensive now because of it. But yeah, I totally understand. If you make a
And-
good product up front, how are you going to make it better?
Yeah, and we still we test every couple of years to make sure we're still on the top of the quality and the heat control and all that stuff. So we nothing's slipping there. We most definitely still test everything, but as far as just research and developing new products, it's kind of been on the back burner since we've been pumping the web search and then the web stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jerry, do you want something to drink? You thirsty? I got White
already-
Claws and Miller Lights, and liquor, obviously.
He's already got some liquor.
Oh.
But you need some more. You're dry, man.
We remember how this went last time.
Oh, last time we were
Jerry
recording, that was
lives in the same
hilarious.
complex I live in, so which is like a block down the road. So we're good. Everything's good.
Walk home
Nice.
if
We
needed.
can walk home if we need to. I have done it. I have done it.
We
All right.
we had our shipping guy here, and I wasn't drinking, but I was encouraging everybody to drink.
Right.
Yeah,
And it was awesome.
it's a good place to be.
Was it, Donnie? Was it?
It was
really
all.
awesome?
I had fun.
So let's I guess let's kind of dive into the products you offer for vehicles first.
Sure.
What did you guys bring us today?
Well,
what are in those boxes over there?
a couple random things. One of the, do we want to pull them out or just?
Yeah, sure. I've got a product cam right here. We can kind of put it right there. I think I think it's you making that noise. I'm gonna step away from my mic real quick. You guys get that stuff ready.
So how heavy was that, Donnie?
That wasn't bad.
Okay.
That wasn't bad.
Sometimes people grab it. It's like, oh, that's heavier than I thought.
That's what it is. I was trying to
See, this was why I came. I was like, I want to learn. I
Yeah.
want to understand.
You want to be part of Team Second Skin, is what you're saying. That's what I hear.
We got some
I'm
shirts
down.
for you. We
Nice.
got some shirts
I'm
for you.
Shirts.
Sweet.
And
kinds of stuff.
products, all of the above. So I guess we just I think the core of like when you're talking about vehicle noise is just starting with understanding what the sources are. And there's all these different parts of the vehicle that cause noise. I mean, you got the engine, you got tires, you got exhaust, every rattling door panels, everything.
Yep.
Excuse me. And it really kind of breaks down into two categories. You got your structural noise, and then you got your airborne noise. The structural noise is all the vibrating, rattling metal.
Coming from the vehicle. I'm not sure where that sound's coming from.
I've
but
heard it a couple of times. Yeah.
I thought it was like under his thing, but I don't know.
I thought it was me, and I switched over.
No, it wasn't you.
These
'Cause it
things
did it
happen.
before you
We've got
here.
gremlins in our
Yeah,
sound
just
system. It's normal.
up 'em
It's
under
all
the
right.
table.
We'll be just fine. Keep going.
So you got structural noise, airborne noise. Structural noise would be the vibrating metal panels, a lot of it. And so the key to stopping structural noise is you got to stop the vibrations. If you stop the vibrations, you'll stop the noise because the vibrations are no longer like releasing that energy into the cabin. There's other types of structural noise, but the most of it is that vibrating metal panels.
Yep.
If you're in car audio, you probably have seen like rattling plastic panels. That's another type of structural noise. Just two hard things hitting each other.
Things touching in general.
Yes, it causes noise. And then the airborne noise, that's your engine noise, that's your tire noise. A lot of what people think of as road noise is
Yep.
airborne. All that stuff is airborne noise. And to stop that type of noise, you have to block it. So,
Right.
Metal is dense. It does block some noise. But still, which you have exterior noise penetrating the metal and then getting inside the cabin. And so that's actually what this product is. This product is Luxury Liner Pro.
Okay. I've never seen this in person, so I'm actually really happy you brought this.
Yeah,
Nice.
so this product...
It's one of the flagship from the beginning ones, just like the Amplifier Pro. Luxury Liner Pro was created by us at the beginning.
Yeah.
Nobody else can infuse the closed cell foam and the vinyl together. We're the only ones doing it.
yeah,
You
so-
guys have a patent on this?
No, by the way, patents are something that is very difficult and
Yeah.
often
Oh, we know all about
a
that.
giant pain in the ass
Yep.
to just deal with. So,
Yeah.
no.
Understood.
But yeah, so this product, you basically to stop airborne noise, stop all that airborne noise, you have to block it.
Right.
One of the main things that
And
people
absorb it.
yeah, and what you just hit is like one of the main things that people like misunderstand when they're talking about noise into a vehicle is that they are trying to like block noise from outside the vehicle with foam, and that just will not work.
Okay.
It does not work. And so the key is to kind of understand that you have to block it, which blocking noise, there's two keys. You need density, you need some mass. So
Okay.
heavy stuff blocks noise.
I'm learning here.
Yeah, bricks block noise, paper doesn't, right? Like
Yep.
Gotcha.
mass blocks noise. And then the other thing is airtight. And so if you've got, think about like a wall with an open door. If
Yep.
you've got an open door, you have people talking
hear
on the
'em.
outside. Sound comes right through that open door because sound travels really easily through the air. And so you need them to be well sealed. So what Luxury Liner Pro does, it has a couple things that make it perform really well. First, Eric was mentioning how we kind of fuse the foam and the vinyl together. That is something that no one else seems to have been able to figure out. A lot of people will use like an adhesive between the foam and the vinyl in a way that like it peels apart and stuff.
Yeah,
And so
it's like a hermetically sealed type of thing you got going on there.
It's really cool.
And so that again, that's but the reason we do it the way we do it is that so this foam is a decoupling layer that goes between the mass-loaded vinyl and the metal.
So this, I'm just for people watching, this feels almost like a memory
Yep.
foam mixed with like a rubber, and the backside is hard.
Yeah. So the backside
And it
is
has a texture to the backside.
Blackside is mass-loaded vinyl. It's really heavy. This weighs 1 pound per square foot. It is very dense, and it is dense so that it blocks noise.
Okay. How do you apply that since it doesn't have a sticky back?
It actually performs better when it's loose and limp on the floor and flat surfaces.
Okay.
So
This is something you would put on the floor underneath your carpet.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And kind of think about it like when you were a kid and you threw the baseball against the sheet. If
Okay.
the sheet was kind of limp, the baseball would hit it and fall, right?
Right,
But if
right.
you kept that sheet tight the
It'll
ball would
bounce
hit
back.
it and bounce right back at
Okay.
you. So you don't really want mass loaded vinyl to be
Okay.
tight if you can help it. Obviously, on vertical surfaces, you have to make it tight. You
Right.
know? But on flat surfaces, floating and sealed up on the sides is much better than adhering the whole thing.
Would this be beneficial on somebody's door panel, or you have a better product for that?
We used to push it on door panels a lot, but the Megazorb, the white hydrophobic melamine foam we have, is self adhesive and super light.
Cool.
So your door itself doesn't get a lot heavier, and it'll absorb almost as much as this will block. This performs better, but that is easier to install.
Now, if I'm applying this in my vehicle, let's say I'm doing like a real SQ build, okay? Like, I'm going to compete with this car. Am I going to put deadener down first and then put that stuff down on top of the deadener?
Absolutely,
Donnie,
always.
do you feel the switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, always a two type combination. You know, CLD first, killing the vibrations, and then the blocker on top of that.
Okay.
And then in the side panels and ceiling is where you'd use a foam like Megazord.
And correct me if I'm wrong. A deadener is going to be more for low frequency, and this stuff right here is going to absorb more of a higher frequency, or more of a vibration-y sound, or how do I say this? Road noise.
It's going to block. It doesn't really absorb much. It
Okay.
blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way to think about, like, yes, deadener. All deadener is tested with something called NVH, which is noise, vibration, and harshness. This is how
Okay.
like the automotive industry has determined you measure how well a deadener performs. The reason Damplifier Pro performs so well is that we get really high scores. Like basically, it's on a scale of 0 to 1. It's actually a an exponential curve, but at like we're at like 0.3, 0.4 versus like some of the cheaper stuff you get on Amazon would be like a 0.03, which again it's hard to, I don't want to get like too on this, but basically it means that when you stick our deadener to a piece of metal, it's going to stop the vibrations at a significantly higher rate than something that was made cheaper with like cheaper foil or
Gotcha.
more filler material, stuff like that.
What's that, roofing, flashing?
Yeah.
Yeah, asphalt.
Peel and seal.
Yeah.
We always say no to peel and seal, people.
That was the first deadener I ever used.
Everybody,
like-
I think
EXO,
I
everybody
said
used
Yeah,
that.
when I
you
was
know?
like 16, 17, hell yeah, I was using that stuff because it was cheap and you get it at Lowe's, Home Depot.
Yeah, and then your buddies tell you to work, and you know it is what it
And your
is, and then
car
you start
smells
thinking
like
about your
asphalt for
lungs
a
and
week.
stuff
Yeah,
like
your
that.
car stinks after that. Don't even heat that shit up. It's pretty rough. All right, so what's the name of this stuff again?
This is Luxury Liner Pro. You know, it's our mass loaded vinyl fused closed cell foam. Basically, the foam side goes down, facing the metal.
Oh, foam's down.
Yep.
Yeah, foam down.
Oh,
The
okay.
actually, the reason we do that is that the foam is a decoupling layer between the mass loaded vinyl and the metal.
Okay.
And the reason you want that is that, actually, I think probably the easiest way to explain it is think about like a wall in your house. Your
Who's
wall.
breathing hard? Is that you, Donnie?
That was me. I literally held my breath, so
It might have been
I knew
me.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me? Why did you think it was me?
Well, you're usually the heavy breather. You and I breathe very heavy.
Right. Right into the mic.
That was you, Jerry, wasn't
It
it?
wasn't me. I literally held my breath. I'm talking. Y'all heard that.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm clear. I feel like we're playing a game.
Anyway, I heard somebody's breath and it was awesome. Thank you. All right, let's get
We're
back on.
trying to keep the breath going in here. Maybe it was
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
No, you were talking.
Yeah, probably not me then.
I think it was Donnie. We're all good.
It was not me.
Keep going.
Might have been me.
Oh, somebody wants to know if you have a Canadian retailer.
We do. Shazam Concepts.
Well, we have several.
One, our
we
biggest
have, we
one.
have several installers in Canada, but we don't have anyone that I would consider like a
If you
true
guys need a
retailer.
distributor in Canada, I've got a couple guys I can get you on board.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
we currently do not have someone that is focused on distribution in Canada.
Yeah,
No.
I can help you out with that. if you
That'd be
want.
awesome.
We'll talk later. Hopefully, I don't forget. Sorry.
All right. I like
Somebody
it.
write that down. Is there any other? Let's see if there's any other questions.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Can I get a White Claw?
Yeah, you totally can.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Thank you. So,
What flavor?
it doesn't matter. They all do the same thing,
Yeah.
Vehicle for alcohol into body.
basically. Thank you.
Not everyone is doing well. But okay.
So, out of curiosity, do you guys carry any products that you would consider that would be good for SPL applications as opposed to SQ?
Yes, absolutely. Our SPL guys like to add the Damplifier Pro plus the Spectrum together to reduce the flex and then also to stop the panels of their cars from ripping apart.
Ooh, let's
Okay.
talk about that for a minute.
We
How-
call,
I
we call
like
that the sandwich method.
The
So,
sandwich method.
what are you
Okay.
putting down first?
Always Damplifier Pro. If you're
Okay.
going to use a butyl, there are people, everybody's listening out here. Stop listening to your friends. Never, never, never put a liquid down before a butyl.
Okay.
So butyl always goes to the metal. If you're not putting butyl to the metal, you're wasting your butyl.
How do you get that to stick to the metal part of that?
Spectrum sticks to almost anything, man.
Okay.
Except for plastic and fiberglass, you need a primer. But any kind of metal or aluminum, it's going to stick to.
And we'll talk about, because I used your Spectrum recently,
Yep.
and you guys that are listening or watching, you'll see that video probably about a month from now where I used Spectrum on my truck. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But I actually used an adhesive promoter, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But you guys suggest to use a self-etching primer
For plastic and fiberglass.
Now,
only.
are you going to use that self-etching primer on the backside of your Damplifier Pro?
No, the self-etching primer is only if you're going to put it on plastic or fiberglass. That's the only one that needs a primer. Other than that, Spectrum does not need a primer.
Gotcha.
I mean, you
Now,
can use
you
use
can.
one if you want to.
Yeah, it's
but
not- it's not required.
Not required.
Good job. I used a what the hell is it called? An adhesion promoter instead of self-etching primer, and I explain why I do that in the video.
Okay.
All right, nice.
Because I do suggest not using self-etching primer on plastics because of something called sinking. So we'll talk about that
Yeah.
off camera.
Nice.
But I
Yeah.
definitely want you guys to know about that because
Yeah.
you definitely want to use a adhesion promoter, and it's actually cheaper usually than a self-etching primer.
Oh, nice. Thanks for the tip.
There's a couple companies out there that make them. SEM is one of the best companies.
All right.
So, and maybe you guys wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if you do this, but maybe make that available for your customers
Absolutely.
too. Something like that.
We tried to get a partnership with PR15, and they're just kind of too big to kind of help us out. So
Yep.
it didn't.
We
come out.
actually have really good deals with people that make adhesives. So I wonder if they can make something like that for you.
This does seem like the kind of thing we would carry because like we're usually trying to carry stuff that like Home Depot's not going to carry. Like
Right.
if Home Depot has it, we're not interested in offering it because you
I
just
had
go
to
get it
get
at Home
this.
Depot.
I had to get this online. You can get it at an automotive paint store. I did not see it at Lowe's or Home Depot, which I think they had a little section for it, but it was always sold out when I looked for it.
Okay, nice.
Napa has some, and any kind of like PBG, like that company would make something like that. But it's usually going to be an automotive like paint store. It's going to carry something like that.
Yeah.
Because for people, when you paint in plastic, like for instance, you buy a body kit, a urethane body kit for your car, you can't just spray regular primer on that.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to bend right.
Yep.
Or it'll crack when you bend it too much. So you hit somebody or whatever. So an adhesion promoter allows the stuff to bend, the paint to bend with it.
Yeah.
So
And it allows the product like the Spectrum to bite into the plastic.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you use self-etching primer on plastic, the self-etch part loses its ability because it sinks into the plastic and actually it doesn't chemically bond with plastic as much. Now, I don't know how that works with your product because your product is not paint, but I decided to use something different.
Yeah, and it worked,
So
and now we're going to learn something
it
new
worked,
for sure.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. I'm always
Now,
wanting
your
more
stuff's
options.
already got a good bond to it
Yeah.
already, and I probably didn't even need to use self-etching primer or adhesion promoter because it sprayed on really good.
Yeah.
But just in case, that's what I used.
I like it.
And I sanded the panel first.
Yes.
So-
You were that thing is going to stick real well.
For
Good.
life.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So and for those of you watching again, you'll see that video here in probably about a month from now. I'm going to be I have a surgery on Monday, so during that surgery or after, while I'm in recovery, I'm going to go ahead and just edit a bunch of videos that I know you guys have been waiting for. I'm sorry.
No
months,
problem.
No apologies needed.
months
No
of
apologies
videos that I haven't had a chance to edit. I probably got 4 videos to edit right now, so give me something to do. That and I'll watch John Wick movies, and then probably cry a little bit because I'll be in pain. It'll be all right.
Sounds a good combo.
What were we talking about?
You should watch Lawnmower Man too. Put that on your list.
Yeah.
Put
Lawnmower
The
Man
what?
on your list.
Can I have
What-
some more liquor?
Lawnmower Man.
Tell me what is the
I'll have
level,
that.
man?
Virtual-
Virtual.
that.
It's so the virtual reality movie with Pierce Brosnan from '92.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see,
I do
there was
remember
a
it now.
there was a Sega Genesis game. for it,
They
too.
used to come into your house wires and stuff, right? Didn't they?
No, so he was developing this VR thing to enhance intelligence, and there was a simpleton guy who was mowing the lawn, wasn't very smart. He was like, I bet I can make him smart with this virtual reality, and it all goes wrong, of course. But Pierce Brosnan's great.
Yeah.
VR back in '92.
Dude,
92.
Check it
That
out.
was just the
YouTube it.
thought
Check it out.
process of VR back then.
Dude, it's so cool. It's so cool. Just watch it.
Weird Science, that was VR based.
I love Weird Science.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll that back up. Anything else you want to talk about this stuff with? So that would go between your deadener and your carpet, right?
Yeah, that's your second layer on top of your deadener. 100% coverage. You're basically trying to build a wall between yourself and the noise.
It's also really good for pipes in your house that are loud and like water sounds and knocking noises. You can wrap your pipes in it and zip tie them.
And
Sound is gone.
it'll also insulate the pipes in general.
Absolutely.
That's
is
cool.
true.
Same thing with your car. That's a great thermal insulator as well.
I'm taking this home.
Fantastic.
I'd already called dibs.
What else you got?
Jerry called everything.
Actually, let's talk about the one in the little bag right there, because I used to use
This
these.
one?
No.
This one?
Yeah, right in front of Donnie.
Yeah.
So
that one.
my last 2 cars ago, I had these, and I really like them. I think they're awesome.
We can leave them with you.
That makes me feel good. So what is this called?
These are speaker tweakers.
The anechoic pad.
Okay.
Anti-echo, that means.
Whoa.
All right.
All right.
You're-
I'm sold.
yeah,
I'm
there you
listening.
All right. So what exactly does this thing do?
So basically, you guys know who Ed Lester is, right?
Yes, we know that very
He
well.
made an awesome video back in like 2008 or 10 or something like that about this.
Okay.
In his little science lab coat, and it's an awesome video. Check it out. It's on his channel, I believe.
It's got the schizophrenic thing going on, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, you lose about 25% of your back wave in the door speaker, right? Because the back wave goes backwards, goes forward, and cancels some of that out,
The
right?
S&P wave or whatever. they
Yes,
call it.
exactly. And then so basically, what the speaker tweaker does with its little divots here, 1/8-inch divots or whatever they are, the rear wave comes back here, it bounces back, and the peaks and valleys change it just a tad bit, so you can not lose as much
It
back.
changes phase.
Yeah,
so
it
to
changes
speak.
the signal or the phase just a little
Okay.
bit, so that it doesn't mess up when it goes forward again. It doesn't cancel that front wave out.
Is this going to allow for maybe more dynamics or maybe more low end, more high end? In general, what do you see when you apply this to an application? What are you seeing changing?
The
for
customers are saying that it gets much more clear. I've had people that's all they've put in their door before. They're like, I can't believe it just turned my door speaker into this, for
Yeah.
$25-$30.
Yeah, I last and saw I used those. I didn't do a comparison. I wish I would have to see what it sounds like versus what it doesn't sound like with it. But it basically just feels like a rubber. Is that all it is?
That's all
That
it
is
is, a
what
rubber.
it is.
Yeah, there's no absorbing going on.
Yeah.
There's no nothing at all. It's just deflecting the wave just a tad bit to change it so it's not going to cancel out when it goes forward. Like I said, his video shows it off really well. I did a great job in that video back in the day.
Yeah. Now, I used just a spray adhesive to put this on. Is that what you suggest, or what do you
absolutely
suggest?
not.
And it did fall a couple times.
I was about to
Yeah,
say,
that's
spray
right.
adhesive and rubber do not mix.
I didn't know any better.
Yep, that's a super glue product. I believe Ed and them guys use some kind of silicone, and he talks about it in his video.
Okay.
But we always suggest like a Gorilla Glue or just a super glue, because spray adhesive, it will look like it's holding, but after it reacts to the rubber or whatever, it's
Yeah.
going to give way and fall down. So most definitely use a silicone adhesive or a super glue.
We've got that super strong tape also.
And we've
that
got
we use
double-sided sticky tape works with it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's
what I was
awesome.
That's probably the easiest, just
Yeah.
because you put the tape on the back.
Yeah, you put it where you need it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about spraying
Stick,
nothing.
Done.
Done. Awesome. Do you have to wipe the back with alcohol or anything like that?
We always kind of suggest that. Always rub everything down without rubbing alcohol. Like a clean surface, man. You
Nice.
give it its best chance.
And that needs to
just
be
best chance.
directly behind the speaker.
Yeah, directly behind the speaker. Sometimes there's a crash bar back there, and people will call me up like, "Hey, what do I do with the crash bar?" You have 2 options. You can cut it in half and put it on each side of the bar, or you can take foam and build it up the same height as the bar.
Okay, yeah.
And then slap it on there like that. You don't want it to be in there like all curvy-wurvy and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's not gonna do its job.
It's not going to do its
needs to
job.
be flat,
It needs
yeah.
to be somewhat flat.
Glue it to the back of the speaker. It'll be just fine.
I've had people
Yeah,
I've had people that thought it was like those speaker cups before, and they're like kind of wrapping on them. I'm like, no, you didn't do that. It needs to be about an inch away at least, and give it some room to do its
Right.
job.
That's cool.
Gotta let the speaker breathe a little bit.
Exactly. Let
four-
her breathe.
4 or 5 inches.
That's
definitely
even
a little
better.
Behind, yeah,
but at
but
least
further
a
behind you can.
minimum an inch. But you don't want it touching the speaker or anything like that.
God, I want to build an SQ car now. I'm supposed to be doing one of my FRS, but I have to finish my truck first.
We were just in that IB24 build
I
out
think it was
there,
awesome.
and Michael Jackson was on the front dash.
Yep.
singing to me, people. I was looking
So
around
cool.
for him.
I
I
was
couldn't
so
find him. It
confused
was
for a
coming out of the
second.
windshield.
These guys
That's
just
so cool.
experienced Nick Lemons' was it a Passat he has or Audi?
Audi, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing with the 24 in it. That thing's amazing.
Oh, the stages inside that car. I've never even seen music skip go from here,
Yep.
and the speakers are all below you.
That's how you know
mind blowing.
That's how you know it's done right.
Yeah, you did a
When
good
you
job.
can
Mind
close
blowing.
your eyes and pick out where everybody is, that's done correctly. Front stage, done right. It's
Yep.
called imaging, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Jason from Bat Dog did a great job on that car. Good job, Jason and Nick. You guys created a masterpiece there.
That's all. I still have yet to hear that car, by the way. It's here, but one of these days I'll get to hear it.
It's almost totally finished too. It's looking sexy.
Hello, Brett. That's my son. My son Brett's on
Brett,
here.
what's up, buddy?
Brett, we have another Brett in here.
Brett and Brett.
Yeah,
There
Brett
we
and
go.
Brett.
Best name there is.
All right, so what's the name of that stuff again?
Speaker tweaker.
Speaker tweaker.
Not
All
to be
right.
confused with the other tweakers are in life.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah. All right, what else you got here in the box? Hey Donnie, let's get the other box over here.
Yeah.
This one. This one.
Yeah.
This one.
The white stuff.
Any of them.
The white stuff. Do this one.
The lightest one should be the white stuff.
Because that one piqued my interest. I was like, I
Yeah, I'm
don't
curious
know what
about
that
this
one
too.
is, so.
I want to know what it is. What's all about.
So just right off the bat, this is the only product that's not made in the United States. Hydrophobic melamine foam is made outside the United States. Our competitors sell cheap Chinese stuff that's not hydrophobic. We actually make this hydrophobic in our factory. But BASF is the people we buy our Megazorb from, the highest quality melamine foam in the world.
okay.
Yeah, so the main difference when you're talking about something being hydrophobic versus not is there's kind of two ways that you see people do it. Sometimes it's like a hydrophobic coating,
Like a spray.
which is
Yeah.
something that will fail over time.
Right.
We soak ours all the way through.
Oh, okay,
and so that
cool.
means that you can cut it up. It's still going to be hydrophobic,
Nice.
and it's not going to lose its water repellent.
And
over
hydrophobic
time.
meaning water repellent.
Yeah. If we
Water
were to
repellent.
That way it
put this thing under a
doesn't.
sink-
That way you don't get mold. in
Yep,
your- in
no
your door.
mold. It doesn't hold water.
What is the name of this again?
So this is Megazorb.
Megazorb. Okay, so Megazorb. What is its use?
It is an absorber. It's an absorber and a thermal insulator. So it has the highest sound absorbing capabilities of all the foams out there. The melamine foam is very, a form of melamine foam is just like the Mr. Dry Eraser or whatever that is. And if you put that under water, you see how much water that absorbs.
Yes.
It's absorbing sound on the same type of level, but you got to fight the water
So
thing.
can I wipe my walls with that stuff?
You could, but it's going to be expensive eraser. You want to use the cheap stuff for your walls and
Right.
use the good stuff for your car. This is aerospace grade
Okay.
melamine foam. This is the same stuff
Sounds
that's
expensive.
on the bullet trains. It's in the rocket ships that fly up in space. Melamine foam is the highest form of absorbing foam there is.
Now I'm putting this in the door panel.
Door panels,
All
ceiling, side walls. You can fill your voids with it if you've got deep pockets. You can use
Okay.
this to fill your voids.
Yeah.
You can use it for all kinds of anywhere you want to absorb sounds. Van walls.
So in my door panel, I'm gonna put some Damplifier Pro on.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna put this stuff on here too.
And that's on the outer skin.
Yeah, the outer skin.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, not door panel itself. The actual door.
Yep.
Now.
And the reason you want to do that is that you want, if you think about like a door cavity, everything in there is reflective. You got metal everywhere, and so the sound is bouncing around
big
inside of
speaker
there.
box.
And
Yes.
yes. Adding this in there absorbs those reflections, and that's really all you're trying to do.
Have you ever had anybody put this in a sub box? Inside of a
We
box.
get people asking about that all the time. We've never tested it or anything like that, but I think you would probably lose some of your sound
Well-
because it's going to absorb a lot, but it's going to clean it up.
I'm thinking of it this way.
Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I've been drinking.
Yeah, it's polyfill. It's the same thing.
Polyfill.
It's the
Yep,
same thing.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
It's a similar process, right? So, and a lot of times you'll kind of bring out the low end if especially in a sealed enclosure. You'll get a little bit deeper bass using polyfill. Is this going to kind of do the same thing?
So 100% yes, but we would actually point you to something else because like unless you care about it being hydrophobic or you care about the insulation in the box, like we would tell you to use something that's absorptive but
Yeah.
like less expensive.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And
This
so
is the spendy stuff.
This is meant for a door panel where water's going to get in the door.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
door-
could get in the doors, absolutely.
yeah, that's part of the reason why we want
And then
to use
upside
there.
down because it's super lightweight.
Okay.
And we sell this in self-adhesive as well, which makes it super easy to install.
Okay, so it does have a backing on it.
This one doesn't itself.
Right.
This is the non-adhesive version, but we sell an adhesive version as well.
And if you were to use a spray with that, what would you use?
Either our spray adhesive or we recommend a 3M90.
Okay, perfect.
So what is MAP on those?
What are we at on this?
So including shipping, 8 square feet of this is like $63.
That's not bad at all.
And then
God, that's why spaceships cost so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
we sell this in the 1-inch and the 2-inch version as well, and that's a little bit more expensive. And that's what the
Right.
the trains, planes, and aerospace people are using is the 1 and the 2-inch ones. And we
Trains,
actually
automobiles.
can get a 4. We have a 4-inch option as well. Not very many people have room for that though.
No shit, 4-inch.
Yeah.
So whenever I do my SQ car, I'm going to put the 4-inch on the ceiling. Okay.
you
That's
can.
where
I
it's
mean,
going. As long as you can do it with a backing of some sort.
The thicker it is, the more low frequency sound
Yep.
it's going to absorb. So like this one right here is
Oh.
really good at absorbing mid to high frequency sound, but
Okay.
it's not very good at the really low frequencies.
Yeah.
And so as you start increasing that
Okay,
thickness,
so you don't want to go thick on a roof then.
well, you also just don't have space on the roof. Like above
Yeah.
that headliner is kind of where
Actually, and then I have an FRS. I've got like maybe 3 inches to go. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
if you would have put it all up, I mean, yeah, you like now you're
Yeah.
touching your head on it. But and so that's part of the reason why we go with the 1/2 inch. But also, again, it's if you need low frequency absorption, you need at least 1 inch of material,
Nice.
no matter what material you're using.
Yeah.
Okay, so in general, if I'm building an SQ car, you probably don't want to use the thick stuff so much on the roof because basically the stuff you're going to put on the ceiling, you want to block high frequency, not so much low frequency. That way, things aren't bouncing around. Your tweeters and mids aren't bouncing around as much. So that, or maybe slightly thicker, would be best to go with.
Yeah.
Okay, so use a lot more deadener, but then use that like one layer of that. You'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, one layer.
Yeah, one layer is good.
All right. And so, what are your different sizes of this stuff?
We sell it in 24 by 24 for the 1/2 inch, and then the big boys, the 1 inches and the 2 inches, come in 24 by 48s.
Nice.
And the reason because of that, we used to sell this and this is actually the 24 by 48 old one, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
And
yeah.
we actually, for shipping reasons, we had to shut it down because FedEx, and you know about shipping, then
Oh, yeah.
anything over 48 inches, they just hit you hard.
Yep.
And the box is
or,
actually
or 50 pounds or more.
yeah,
Yes.
and the 48-inch box actually goes to 49 because they round up anytime it's a tad bit over 48. So we were getting a huge upcharge for everything we sent out. So
we had to do very similar
compensate.
things. We had some subs that were double boxed. We now single box them
Yep.
because of the shipping.
Just
The,
'cause
the,
of weight.
the weight, and anything over 48, man, they just kill you.
Yep. All right, so let's put that away. And what else we got over there in another box?
Wait, I want to touch that.
And that's one other thing about melamine foam. It's one of the fragile foams, so that's why you want to use it out in the outer skin or anywhere like that. You don't want to use it on your floor because you're going to be stepping on it. It's
Like,
it's
no
fragile.
friction. You don't want
Yeah,
any
you don't want to
friction.
smash it or mess with it.
Just like the Mr. Whatever eraser thingies. You ever get that stuff?
Yeah.
You use
Yeah.
it like 3 times. And it's disintegrating.
like this, yeah, rubs
Yeah.
away in your
Magic.
hand.
It's a fragile foam. And then this is our one of our old flagship ship ones, also Overkill and Overkill Pro, the good old closed cell foams.
Overkill.
Had those since day one as well. This is
I
the
gotta, I gotta feel it.
This is the 3/8 inch version of it.
Okay. So it feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like there's an outer skin on both sides and there's an inner skin, or is that all the same
It's
same
all,
material?
It's all the same.
Okay.
It's the same material, but what you're
It's got a nice finish on it.
yeah. And that's like the cut, what you're kind of seeing on the outside.
And we are
house.
now selling this and self-adhesives as well, thanks to who did that? Oh, Jeffrey Hall. Thank you very much. Talked us into doing the self-adhesive. We get a lot of feedback from our customers, and that's kind of when you talked about R&D earlier. Some of our new R&D is just feedback from the customers on what's easier for them to help them install. And good techs like Jeffrey Hall and other guys out there, give us feedback and. Like, oh man, we would really love this if it was self-adhesive, and we start, testing it, and like, oh, we can do that, and then it makes it easier for them, and then they buy more.
Okay. And what was this called again?
Overkill Pro.
Overkill Pro. Is there a regular Overkill?
There is.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, they always have a regular and then a Pro. It seems like, right?
Yeah, he's learning it. Got it.
Yeah.
Like there's
Got it down.
Damplifier and Damplifier Pro.
Yeah, Luxury Liner and Luxury Liner Pro.
Ah.
Pro
So
basically
the
just
pros
means
were
it's thicker.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, thicker.
Yeah.
Now this is very similar to the white stuff we were looking at, right?
Yep, very
but,
similar,
but
but
it's not hydrophobic.
But it's closed cell. It is It is
Oh,
pretty
it is.
much water resistant because it's a closed cell foam.
Okay.
Closed cell foams don't absorb water.
Gotcha.
And also, all of our foams are treated with mold, mildew, fire resistance, and all that good stuff.
Cool.
So we treat everything to be lasting forever and not molding up in your car.
Yeah, we don't need that. No
No mold.
stank going on there.
So with what was it, the adhesion, the one that had the adhesive on it, is that like a peel thing? Is that like a spray? Okay.
Yeah, it's a peel back on it. We always do a PSA, a 450 degree PSA backing on all of our stuff to make sure it can stand the heat as well.
So this is something I would use more so on my floor.
Yep, you could use that as on the floor as a decoupler between mass. Like if you bought you can buy Luxury Liner Pro with just the vinyl, which is Luxury Liner, and a lot of other companies sell just the MLV. And you would use this as a decoupler for that. In between your door card and where your door card mounts, closed cell foam is used. Behind a license plate that's rattling, in between any pieces of plastic that are touching each other, stuff like that. That's where closed cell foam is used.
You really can use it. I mean, anywhere you can put closed cell foam anywhere.
Almost
in your
everywhere.
car.
Yep.
And so
Almost
there are some
anywhere.
people that do that. I mean, they just put the closed cell foam there. That's what they're doing it for. We like to be much more targeted in our use of closed cell foam, where we're trying to use it behind rattling plastic panels, and it's because this type of foam in particular, like the softness of it's called durometer, is basically we tested it so that it is just really good at stopping or isolating those two hard surfaces from each other. And so that's like when we're using it, that's what we're using it for. But you really can use it anywhere if you want.
Very universal.
You have different thicknesses of this stuff here.
The Overkill's 1/8 inch thick, and the Overkill Pro is 3/8 inch thick.
There's no 4-inch.
There's none bigger than that.
Gotcha.
Just the 1/8 and the 3/8.
Eighth would be great between panels.
Yes.
That are actually touching.
Yep.
That way you don't mess up with how the distance.
The clearance.
Yeah.
The SQ build we were just looking at, he had Overkill, like the thin one, between like the license plate in two places,
single
just
panel.
to like perfectly make it so there's no sound coming. That was he done a really clean job with that.
You
That
can
was
think of it
awesome.
kind of like a gasket. The thinner one is more how I treat it is like anywhere you need a gasket to separate two things. The Overkill is good for that.
Good. Have you? And I don't know if you have this product or not. Do you know that stuff that you wrap wires with?
You mean like a
Like
reflective
Tesla
heat
tape?
shield or like a?
What do they call
It's-
it? You
Is
know.
it Tesla tape?
No, not
No.
Tesla tape. It's stuff that like the German cars use, the companies. I used to use it when I did installs. Anytime you have wires in like let's say in your door,
Yep.
I would wrap. It's like a cloth tape. You would wrap stuff with.
We don't have that, but the Overkill's used that way.
Okay.
Yeah, the thinner Overkill's used that way.
Okay.
Mark from Car Audio Fab did a good job showing that off one time about
Nice.
8 years ago.
There's also you could use Radiant Shield. It's like
Yep.
a woven. It's like a woven heat shield, and so it kind of feels like fabric, even though it's a heat shield.
For like wires underneath the engine, or down
Right.
if you're running your wires in and where there's hot stuff around.
How do you do that? Do you just use like zip ties, like wrap it
With,
around? and
yeah,
zip
with
tie
this,
it?
with the foam, you would wrap it around it and then put a zip tie, a little teeny little zip tie on each side. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Radiant Shield has peel and stick backing, so you
And
just
the Radiant Shield is
stick
self
right in.
adhesive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And so, what else we got? Was that Amplifier Pro over there?
Yeah, that's the good
I got-
there.
yeah, save
I love
that
that
for last.
stuff.
That's the good.
That's my favorite stuff you guys make right there.
I love
because I've used it more than anything.
You didn't shake her.
Oh, no.
That was
You need a
small.
knife?
You looked really strong.
We need a knife.
Do I have a knife? No, I
Oh, I got you.
Wait, I got you.
I had
No,
to fly,
mine's
so I
cooler,
don't
mine's
have mine.
cooler.
The guy who opens a lot of boxes, he's got a knife.
Ooh, sexy knife.
I know.
I
did you see
like
that?
it.
It's rainbow
That's your
chrome.
chroma.
Oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I bet your knife wasn't
Let me
rainbow chrome. was it?
change
No,
the
it's
camera
blue.
here. Here we
See?
go.
But it would match Eric though.
Okay, all right, but hear me out though. It's
All
rainbow
right,
chrome.
there it is. The old sexy Amplifier Pro.
I just want y'all to know I'm probably gonna buy everything that's here because I'm actually working on building my own door panels.
Well, they're going to a show. I think they have to bring it with them.
Oh, well, there goes
But we can
that.
always get some for
So
you, Jerry.
first off, yeah, we'll hook you up. Just
Cool,
Yeah.
I appreciate.
So the first thing that, like, when I first started working here 9 years ago, I grew up on Dynamat and other stuff back in the day, but the
You
one
want
thing
one?
you can see about
No,
the
is
Amplifier
that the
Pro
roller?
is it holds itself up.
Does
You
it come
know,
with a roller?
a
Yeah.
lot of deadeners you get out there when you hold it up like this, it's just
It
gonna
just
flop
flops
down,
over,
Let it
yeah.
flop down because they don't have the right foil. They're using Mylar foil.
Yep.
They don't have the thickness in the butyl.
Is it aluminum?
Yes, we have 6.5 annealed foil, aluminum foil.
Yeah, it's
on
like
ours.
Okay.
we like it goes through like a special treatment in
Yep.
addition to being thicker than what most people would
Okay.
use.
Because I noticed when we were doing Donnie's car, and I've had it before. You guys actually gave me some for a different build I was doing years ago. I noticed that it just, in general, it feels different than any other product I've ever used. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I can bend it where I need to bend it. It stays in place. You can push further, and it's not going to break as
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
as a lot of other products.
Yep.
Because what I do when
I
I'm
saw that.
when I'm putting it on a panel, there may be an air gap where I need to push into that gap, and it's not going to break as easy as a lot of other products. It almost feels like Like this is the Pro, which the metal's thicker on the Pro, right?
No, they're both the same annealed foil. The only difference between the Amplifier and Amplifier Pro is the thickness of the butyl.
Okay.
One's 1 millimeter, the other one's 2 millimeter.
I love that it comes with a roller.
It actually comes with a roller.
Look, part of
That's cool.
Ours?
I
yeah, I know.
love that
I thought they just
instantly.
gave me one.
Because that's not
We
a
like
thing
your
that
box.
normally that you see in deadeners. Does ours come with a roller?
No,
it
ours
does
does
not.
not come with a roller.
Well, and to get into like a little bit of like how deadener works, the key or one of the keys, like there's like a handful of things that really matter. One of them is how well it is bonded to the metal. And so the roller is what you use to make sure that you bond it well. Because if you have something that it's not actually bonded well to the metal, it's not going to do crap.
yeah, that,
Exactly.
You
And it's a
realize,
wooden
Jerry,
roller too. So
you realize, Jerry, you screwed us because tomorrow Jake's going to buy a bunch of Sundown rollers and we're going to have to cut into every box and put the roller.
I heard I was getting a free roller is what I heard out of what you just said.
Dottie's
But
going to be cutting into every box and putting these rollers.
That's exactly what that's going to
we
be.
are not getting rollers.
Yes, we are. We're totally getting rollers.
So, and Eric, you and I had this conversation. I love to use the butt end of a screwdriver.
Yes, you do.
Now, I will, like on a flat surface, I'll
yeah.
use a roller. But like, if as you guys saw when I did Donnie's car, there was a lot of curves and contours inside that trunk. So we'll roll it on, but to really dig in deep, I use the butt end of a screwdriver. I always make sure it's a good rounded butt end of a screwdriver, and then I just get in there and I just go to town with it.
Yeah,
But
it's got to be
what
rounded.
That's what I've always used.
And I made
that's
fun
just
of him.
me.
I'm like, come on, man, you got a roller.
That's because we don't have the roller.
Did the same thing? Did the
I
same
think we
thing?
started using the roller.
Well, we did
feel
use
like
the
we did
roller
use the
on a
roller.
lot of your flatter spots, but I always use a butt end of a screwdriver to get really deep
For like the
into
nooks and
curves,
crannies.
curves and
wait,
contours.
Yeah.
And when I did my door panel or my doors, the video, which again, oh no, that's out. That's the one that's out yet. That
Yep.
is the one. It's the one where we did custom speaker pods. You can see where I used he used the roller. I used the screwdriver.
Yeah.
I actually use, my son was in Taekwondo, so they use a fake knife. If you've ever seen them from like, I think Korea or Vietnam, one of those, I can't remember where we got it from. But it has, it's basically just a piece of wood with a slant on it, and it's got a rounded end and then a nice tip on the end. And our Vietnam distributor actually is the one that first showed it to me. And I'm like, oh, my kid's in karate. I can get one of those.
That's cool.
So I go to the karate dude. I'm like, hey, man, can you get this wooden thing? He's like, oh, yeah, I can get you that. So he ordered me one. And that thing works great for the grooves. It's just
Hell
so
yeah.
smooth and it doesn't wear out. And it's wood, so it doesn't. That's the thing. Some people use the metal rollers. And if you pierce through the foil, you're kind of ruining your project. So you want to use something that's not going to rip through.
Yeah. And you see people, and you can also just use the back of the roller. Not quite as good at getting in the crannies as your screwdriver there,
Right.
but at least you got a little something there.
Yep.
That's another.
Maybe you should make the
like a
rollers, the
special
back end
roller?
of the roller
Oh,
with
should
be a screwdriver.
a little
Yeah,
more
little-
rounded.
Oh.
Make the handle a little thicker with a rounded butt end on it. Make it plastic
Nice.
instead of wood.
Man.
You got to patent that.
Brian, that's a really good idea.
Put the word Sundown on it.
Yeah, all of a sudden our wooden hand roller is going to say Sundown on it.
Better watch out. Jake will take that idea.
Rollers brought to you by Sundown.
So with this product, would you apply this with heat, or is this just roll it on? Like
Yeah,
where-
to be honest, and people are probably going to bag on us about it, if you're adding heat to your build, you are not doing it right. Now, there is guys that will use light heat just to make it more pliable, but if you have to heat up a butyl, A, it's probably not butyl, and B, you're messing up the formula of the butyl especially if you overheat it.
Gotcha.
Some guys just hit a torch
You
on it,
just
and it's like
Sit it in sunlight, right?
Yeah, just set this stuff in the sunlight, black side up, 5 minutes, and unless you're in Seattle, Washington, where there's no sun, it's gonna.
But
it's gonna be
why
pliable.
do they do that? Why do they apply? Because do they
It's
feel like
stickier.
it joins
It
more
sticks
to
better.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
They
better.
think it's going to be better stuck, but what they're doing is they're really messing up the formula of if it's a true butyl, they're messing up the formula of it.
Okay.
It depends. I mean, in some you can formulate something so that it is designed to be
Heated
adhered
up.
with heat.
Yeah.
Like so, if you're a car manufacturer, when they put the deadener that they still manage to put, they
That
put
has some
less and
asphalt
less.
in
They
it.
put less and less every year. But like the deadener they do manage to put, a lot of like the process is put the car in basically an oven.
Yeah,
and it
well,
just like heats.
A lot
and
of them are
sinks down.
using like the
It's already
Fiberflex
heated, okay.
type stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is a little bit different beast, and you do have to heat that kind of
And
stuff
so
up.
again, it's if it's designed.
we
to be
have
heated.
Fiberflex here that we sell, and you have to heat.
Yeah,
it.
that's a little bit
Yeah.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Totally different.
I'm an
Well,
SPL
get your
guy,
mic a
so
little.
that That's pretty much
sturdy.
what I've always used.
Yeah.
As in the SPL application.
I'm gonna
So
do
that's
your
why I'm
thing.
trying to learn
I'm
more
messing
about
it
the
up.
SQ
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, in like West Coast Customs, when they put theirs on, if you ever watch them, they're going to use one. You know those little teeny guns that kind of like melt
You sound good.
plastic onto like baskets and stuff. They use one of those soft heats on it, and when they apply theirs, and I've talked to Chad and them guys about it, and they do it because it just is more pliable and goes around the curves better. But they don't overheat it with a big torch.
So you heat
Yeah.
it too much, it's just going to break through.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going to
Yeah.
mess up the formula. You know, you don't want to throw fire onto a good butyl.
Yeah, I'm definitely placing an order. I'm sold.
Make sure you hit me up so you don't pay full price.
All right. That's what I want. That's what I like to
Exactly.
If you
do.
make a video,
That's the main reason I started working at Sundown. I was already buying products, and it only made sense to work here.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I like it. I like it.
Jerry's got a pretty cool story how he became like a team guy and started working here. Well, we talked about that before. We don't need to talk about it again though.
We'll ask it on here after. On here.
Yeah,
after.
we'll tell
Good
you.
times. Good times.
All right, so this is all vehicle stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
For vehicles in general, what else do you have available that you haven't shown us here? Or if is there anything else?
Heat shields.
We got a bunch of different things. The one thing I would definitely call out is Spectrum, which we've talked
Oh, yeah,
about.
Spectrum, duh.
And I didn't have a gallon. Then I was run out the door this
I
morning.
have one here, but it's in a box in the automotive room, and I didn't bring it in. But basically, it's a tub. Was it a half gallon or is it a gallon?
You get a gallon and a 5 gallon.
Okay. Cool. Now that stuff, when I opened it up, and I realized I didn't have a funnel, and I was trying to put it in the thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I need a funnel.
Big mouth funnel.
Big mouth funnel.
Yeah, you definitely need a funnel for that stuff. So if you guys are going to use it in the spray bottle in the sprayer, which you guys do provide, or it at extra cost.
A
I
package,
assume.
yeah.
Brian only has smallmouth funnels.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get the small funnel.
Actually,
Trick.
Donnie, this is a real thing. I only could find smaller funnels. So
Yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find a
I
big mouth.
cut a jug
Yep.
open and made a funnel.
Exactly.
Tell me
I
you
have
told
one.
them
Yeah.
the story about the smallmouth thing.
Oh no!
I wasn't even
I'm
going
not
to
heard.
point
So
it out.
Brian
because
couldn't
Donnie
get his
brought it up.
surgery originally because his mouth is too small.
Yep.
So Jake made a meme. It was it was Smash Mouth, but he put Brian's face on the Smash Mouth guy, and it just has small mouth.
Yep.
And put it everywhere around the shop.
Yes.
So
So
there's a lot of good jokes.
yeah. So the reason my surgery was supposed to be in January, and I went in, and it's to take my tonsils out, remove my adenoids, and do some things with my sinuses. Right.
It should work.
Just open me up. I have a lot of sinus issues, and
Yeah, that one will get you. You got to be careful. That's basically a lightsaber.
oh yeah.
That's Jake's lightsaber.
Oh my god.
You can take off a
Yeah.
mustache with that.
It's
thing.
lit. Don't you
That's
worry.
that chocolate.
Jesus.
That's why I use this one.
So I get to the surgery room. They put me asleep, which is my first time ever getting put to sleep. They put me asleep, and 10 minutes later, I got woken up, and they didn't do the surgery because they realized that the area in which your tongue sits, the little valley that's down below your tongue, is not as low as most people's. So my tongue is big and it sits up too high, so they couldn't get in there with their normal equipment to do what they had to do. And my tonsils are huge. They paralyzed my tongue. I couldn't use my tongue properly for 2 weeks.
Oh shit.
Nobody told me that.
Yeah.
Jake even rewrote All Star, but with like Brian lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Wow.
somebody's got to find this post.
Where's
It's
the?
hilarious.
It's a post.
Yeah, it's on Jake's
It's
Facebook
somewhere.
page.
It's like temporary paralysis.
Yeah,
Like,
I
on
kind of
my
want to
tongue.
see your tongue
Literally.
at this
My-
point. Wait, do it again. That's not as wide as I thought it was going to be.
I don't know what's up. Apparently,
Put
their
like a micrometer
their
on and figure
equipment
this
couldn't
out.
work in my mouth. So,
and they
That's
just
gonna
told
be on
you
the
like
internet
it's gonna
later.
get better eventually. Like is that they just sent you out the door?
well, I didn't.
Like,
I was when you come off of anesthesia, you're pretty retarded.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that my tongue was numb. I just like I was wanting to. There was a lady that was because there's like a curtain right here, and I just woke up. There was a lady over here and on the other side of the curtain that was snoring really loud, and I felt like I needed to help her for some reason. So I was trying to like get in there, and Crystal was in the room. She's like, Brian, stop. And I started talking about Crystal's boobs, and just we were having a good old time. But
Nobody told me any of these things.
yeah, but it
So much good content.
basically I'm having a surgery on Monday. They're gonna use a robot thing in my mouth to do this. And it's gonna cost me like 5 times as much.
Because of your mouth, it's 5 times more. Oh man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's the price you pay. For
I don't have
having a small
insurance.
mouth.
I've got insurance, but it's not called insurance. It's like a supplemental thing. I don't know. So it's going to cover some of it, but my ass had to get a loan for this, okay?
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
But you know what? I'm trying to improve my quality of life.
Yeah.
And I have to get these tonsils out. And they're going to go up and clear. And there's a thing called an eustachian tube. It goes from like your ear to your mouth and your nose and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go in there and dilate it and make it bigger so my ears stop getting clogged up and all sorts of shit.
Wait, so I thought they were taking your tonsils.
They are.
Okay.
They're
gonna
taking my
do that.
tonsils.
Okay, so
Your adenoids is on the top of your palate, so they're going to scrape that all off.
I didn't come here for science, bro.
And yeah, it's going to be
Came for second skill.
it's going to suck. They said recovery for an adult for just tonsils in general is pure hell. It's like 2 weeks. So I'm getting more done.
Ouch.
So. These things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat anything.
No, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to start my diet. Why
Yeah.
not? Not going to be able to eat. I'm getting married in October, so I have to look good for that. So I need to lose like 50 pounds.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's my second marriage. It's
Nice.
all right. This one's a keeper, though.
All right. That's what I like to hear.
That's right.
Yeah.
Second time's a charm.
It is. No more. There's not going to be a third one.
Nope.
I'll tell you that. So, all right. What else we got to talk about? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the home stuff.
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I don't even know anything. I just know cars.
Yeah.
We're doing soundproof doors, soundproof windows for recording studios. We got window inserts. We got acoustic panels for reducing reverberations in rooms. We've got the tried and true MLV for the walls to block out the sound.
Can I just
Did you say
take some-
soundproof windows?
Soundproof windows, yes, just like that, but it's like a recording studio window.
That is pretty cool.
Okay, explain.
Go for it.
Sure.
There you go. You got that one.
As the SPL guy, I'm always looking for
He wants to break the windows.
That's not.
we're
no,
talking
we
about-
don't
we're
wanna
talking
break
about
the
home,
windows,
though.
But they do break. Same concept. Potatoes, tomatoes.
So, I mean, there's
I
kind of
like
like some
potatoes.
principles that when you're building a window that determine how well it's going to block sound. And, with one of the things that matters is how far apart the panes of glass are. And so if you have a larger airspace, it's going to block more sound than a smaller airspace.
Yeah.
And so what you see when you get into like really soundproof windows is that they're huge. They can be like 12 inches wide for like maybe it's a double wall or something like that. And then you can have a pretty soundproof window that's only 5 inches wide, but you don't have like a normal, like what you think of as like a normal window is not what a soundproof window looks like.
Okay.
Other things that
You
are
can still see through it, right?
still see through, it's still
All right.
glass.
And that's called a window.
See,
We can do
that's pretty
tinted. We
solid.
can do tinted. We can do mirrored too, right?
Sound.
Yeah, one
you should
way.
do
One way.
soundproof tints.
That's what I was
We've
thinking
been-
originally
hey,
when I heard it.
All right, everybody, shush. Go for it. No more talking about that.
Soundproof
We're
tent.
gonna cut that out,
Yeah, so-
even though we're live.
The other thing that is kind of matters is that when you have glass on both sides and a big airspace, is that if you have something absorptive in the middle. So if you think of like a wall in your house, you've got drywall, you got insulation in the middle. That is a very good structure for blocking sound. Windows, you're kind of trying to accomplish the same thing. You got glass, and then you've got something absorptive inside that casing that helps improve the STC rating and how much sound it blocks.
Okay. All right.
So using like multiple panes,
Yes.
and is there like a gas in between those panes, or
No. I mean,
are you allowed to talk about the technology built into this stuff? Or?
I was thinking more. I'm not gonna say it.
People can make their own windows. There's a variety of things that go into it, making it high performance. It's pretty expensive to
Yeah.
get it right. So
I assume
go
it
for
is.
it.
I assume. All right, so then we got the windows.
we got
my question was, sorry,
Go ahead.
can I just take some Damplifier Pro and slap that bitch on the wall?
No, the amplifier or drywall does not vibrate very much, and I mean, for Buell to work on it anyway. So that's not the right approach.
Jerry,
Nor
you're gonna say
Spectrum.
something.
I was,
Look,
but I
your
don't
walls are
think-
vibrating every night, aren't they?
I wasn't going to go into that. But I was thinking, it was a thought that I had when we were remodeling a house that we had back in Georgia. And anyway, moving forward.
All right.
Look, so for example, we have people spray Spectrum on a wall. It's
Okay.
happened.
Yep.
It's not what the product is designed for. What you're basically doing is you're adding density to the
Yeah.
wall. And so when the wall is more dense, it will block more sound. But there are more cost-effective ways.
Much
to do
better
that.
ways to do
Yeah.
it.
Gotcha.
So you can do it. It's not as cost-effective as other options that are out there.
Now, do you have anything for people that are building a home versus people that already have a home built?
Yep. Yeah, it depends, and it all
like wall panels or something like that.
This is where it becomes interesting. Is like kind of figuring out whether like if someone already has a home, what's the best way to solve that problem? If someone doesn't, building from scratch, or maybe they're working with an
Like
architect,
second skin
how do you do it?
drywall or some shit.
Like,
Yeah.
if I was remodeling a house, and that would be a thing I would do. I would definitely.
Right.
I've seen
Think
some
about it
really,
ahead of time.
I've seen some really cool sound deadening rooms in general. How it's almost like two walls together.
Yep.
It is always easier to think about it ahead of time
Ahead
and
of
do
time,
it
yeah.
at first
I assume,
than like
yeah.
go back and try and retrofit, remodel something.
Yeah,
It's
most
so
definitely.
much easier to do it right the first time.
And we do, by the way, we do have soundproof drywall. It's called Soundbreaker XP, right?
Yeah, that's some of our products we started offering. We offer that just because they're like commercially available.
Yeah.
That product is made by a company called National Gypsum. They make drywall all over the country. You
Yeah.
can buy it locally, but we have a deal where if you're buying a lot of it, we'll help. But that's not really.
It's not a main
is there like-
one for us.
Is there
at
like
all.
a material that's inside the gypsum? Because gypsum is what's in drywall, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there like a material mixed in with it to make it
The Soundbreaker one, yes. Yeah.
It's yeah,
like a fiberglass or some shit?
It's basically
composite material.
Yeah, it's just the way it's formulated. It's very heavy, very dense, and it's got like a decoupler built into it that makes it good at blocking sound. It's a good product, but it is also one of those kind of specialty things that if someone needs a lot of it, sure, but that's that's a normal kind of. We brought certain products in just because they do a good job, and not
Yeah.
because we developed them. You can buy that locally if you want a small amount.
Yeah.
By the way, Donnie, good choice. This is excellent.
I was actually. A
really
huge
like
fan
Larceny
of
is
this
great.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's good too.
That
That
one's awesome.
where it's at.
But this
I
is
like-
what a
I like
bourbon.
that one a lot.
Yeah, it's a bourbon.
This does
See,
not have
I-
the standard burn like a bourbon does.
I think
I
we've
had
already,
that at
we won majority
the
vote.
Bourbon Trail.
I like that one.
See,
I mean,
that's
yeah, like
basically
that
all
one a
of
lot.
Team Second Skin has voted on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had Larceny plenty of times. Like
I'm liking
they're
it.
doing
Yeah.
good work over there.
Yeah.
That is
should have
hopefully
some,
it branches off. So he's
Yeah.
got that. He's got other flavors too. There's like a peated whiskey, which is
There's like
considered.
an apple pie one. That's
Oh,
really good.
well, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's
Apple
really
pie.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way dangerous.
I have quite a story about apple pie.
Oh shit!
That's literally what happened, but never mind.
Oh
We should-
no! We've all had our shitty days there.
No, that was a shitty night. It was bad.
What about insulation? Do you guys make like an insulation of some sort?
Insulation is something that is very very readily available all over the country, and so that's kind of the kind of thing where we're not necessarily trying to get into insulation because we don't want to be, again, fiberglass bad insulation is everywhere and it's crazy cheap. And even the higher end insulations that advertise being soundproof insulation, once you get to a high STC rating, so STC rating is a measurement of how well a material or a structure blocks sound. Once you get to about a 45, you've hit diminishing returns, and it doesn't matter what insulation you have in there. You just got to have insulation. And so we're not really going to try and develop something because we don't view it as important as some of the other.
Speaking of insulation, I learned from Nick from Stereo Integrity many years ago that you can use insulation, like fiberglass insulation for a house, in an enclosure rather than polyfill, because the glass particles help with the. I don't remember. It has to do with heat buildup or
Interesting.
some
Yeah.
kind of kinetic energy. It's better than polyfill. But what you do is, so you don't get the shit all over the place, you spray it with hairspray. It keeps like a barrier, so the stuff stays
So it
together.
doesn't fly off and get all over you.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Nick about our
Huh.
Celluzor product then, because this
Yeah.
it's a cellulose-based recycled product that basically is very cost-effective, like fiberglass bat, but it doesn't have the same like itch and glass problems.
None of the negative itchy stuff
Yeah,
and
I
all
need,
that.
You have to
I need
wear
talk to Nick
gloves.
about that. Yeah, exactly.
So now I want to talk with the.
And anybody who is dealing with fiberglass insulation in a house, you don't have to wear gloves. You can actually put on some baby powder. It'll. I
Is this your homemade, right?
I was about to say,
Listen.
it's like a troll.
when back when I used to do fiberglass enclosures, I would cake on baby powder on my arms, and it closes your pores so that the glass particles don't get into your pores,
Really?
and you just rinse it off when you're done.
Huh.
Yep.
I believe you, but I really don't want to find out
I
like in
understand.
person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine.
But once
Brian
once the
baby
resin
powder.
Baby powder.
once the resin touches
That's-
your arm and gets into your hair, it doesn't matter anyway.
That's a poor recommendation.
Thanks.
No,
I don't
leave it
know.
alone. I want to see this. I want to see Brian covered in baby powder.
Say,
That's the after dark.
yeah. I know you guys got to get going soon, so we'll start wrapping it up. You guys are heading to the Good Guys show. Where is that at this time?
Raleigh.
Raleigh, because I know Good Guys they do multiple shows.
Yep.
So this is in Raleigh. Where's that at? What's there, a track or something?
I believe it's a motor speedway,
Yeah,
right?
Motor
Okay.
Speedway.
And are you setting up a booth, or what are you guys doing out there?
Honestly, we're more checking it out. We've done some stuff with Good Guys in the past, and we're considering doing more. And so we're just trying to go up there, see what's going on. I know that their shows were like less populated last year. And we're just trying to see what's going on up there before we decide.
This year, I'm told almost every show, whether it's cars or car audio in general, massive turnouts.
Nice.
Because everybody is like, I'm going.
Yeah, people are tired of the shit being locked up.
They're not being locked up anymore.
We're tired of
They're
that
going.
crap.
Donnie, you went to like a horror thing, and there was like 1 million people there.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't.
A horror thing? What?
I would do a horror convention twice a year. I'm
He
big
actually
into
works
horror
it.
films. Yeah, I work there.
Okay.
And dude, this last one we did, I've never seen so many people in one place. This was in Cincinnati. Which, by the way, we were talking about Gorilla Glue. You mentioned
Yes.
Gorilla Glue.
Yes.
They're in Sharonville, Ohio. Did you know
Really?
that? I drive right by them.
Nice.
Great glue, by the way.
Yeah,
we love them.
we
And
like
their
it.
tape. Their tape is awesome for the vinyl. Their black tape works perfect on vinyl.
Hell yeah. We use our black tape for we call it SPL tape.
SPL
Yeah.
tape.
Yeah.
Get your SBL tape here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Sundown is supposed to be making some SPL tape at some point.
Nice.
Yeah, we're talking to different tape factories. It'll say Sundown on the tape.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Kick ass.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, but at one point I made SPL glue, so that was.
I remember that. You sent us some. This is
I
before you
did?
worked
Did
here.
I?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you ever use it though?
I don't know. I didn't use
Jeez,
it.
that hurts my
I don't
feelings.
know.
I did not use it. I want to say somebody else
Good
used it.
times. Good times.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to that show. Now, in general, how can people reach you or find you? Social media, website? Tell us all that good stuff.
Second Skin USA on Instagram. We got Second Skin Audio on Facebook, Twitter. I believe one of those other ones too. We're on YouTube as Second Skin Insulation.
Got you a TikTok yet?
No.
We're not in that TikTok
Too damn
world.
old for
we're
TikTok.
trying to get Brett to bring us up in that
Yeah,
TikTok
we-
world. We're,
come on, Brett.
we're a little old for
We
that.
probably should be, but we're
Brett's
not.
going to bring us into that world.
Yeah.
We're,
I did just sponsor a TikTok kid though.
We're most active
Nice.
on Facebook, Instagram, and then we got our website, secondSkinAudio.com.
I see your ads all the time.
And just for
so
the
you're
record,
doing
we're
something.
we got the most followers on IG too for sound editing.
Oh,
There you go.
cool.
Yeah,
Heck
that-
We're about to
yeah.
hit. We're about to
Number
hit.
one.
We're about to hit 10K. So make sure you get on there and like us and follow.
You
Do you
might
guys
be
have-
10,000.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
really
have
is.
a YouTube channel?
We do Second Skin Insulation because that was started. We own Insulation, Second Skin Insulation, and Second Skin Audio.
Yep.
And the reason behind that was because most people couldn't spell the word insulation.
Oh, Jesus.
So we had to switch.
You know what? I
we-
understand.
We had to switch to Second Skin Audio. This was back in the Anthony days. So we switched to Second Skin Audio. We own them both. It's all the same thing. It'll take you to the same place.
Yeah.
For our website anyway. But on YouTube, it's Second Skin Insulation because that's been there since day
And
one.
if you guys want to see any other folks' projects like the one Donnie and I did, you can go to their website, secondSkinAudio.com, and I think it's under user
Customer projects, I believe.
customer projects.
There's also a video
you'll see all
library.
those videos, yeah.
Ton of videos.
And a video library. I believe you guys are underneath the trunk. So like in the trunk kit or something. I think
Yeah.
I put you guys on the trunk
There's a
kit.
couple rows down, but don't worry, folks. The one that Brian just did with the Spectrum, that's going to be up there
Yeah,
soon,
baby.
and we'll get that done.
He's pumping it up. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. I want to thank all you guys for coming today.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
we've been talking about this for years. SecondSkinAudio.com. Check it out. Enjoy your day. Everybody say hi, bye to that camera right there.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.